Chapter 8, Interventions in Groups. So the phases of group development are broken down into the three phases, and we'll review those over the next three slides. So for phase one, the initial phase or orientation phase, this is when leaders and members start to establish rules and goals for the group. Leaders promote trust and ensure that rules do not interfere with the fulfillment of the goal. And also in stage one, trust is not established yet, and people respond with being overly polite because they have not established that trust relationship. There is a fear of not being accepted by the group, and they may try to get on the good side of the leader with compliments or conforming behaviors. Phase two, the middle or working phase. So productive work towards the completion of the task is undertaken. A sense of cohesiveness begins to become established. The role of the leader diminishes and becomes more of one who facilitates. The leader helps resolve conflict and continue to foster cohesiveness among the members. Trust has been established among these members. They turn more to one another and less to the leader for guidance. They accept criticism from each other, using it in a constructive manner to create change. Occasionally, subgroups will form in which two or more members conspire with each other to the exclusion of the rest of the group. Let me say that again. Occasionally, subgroups will form where two or more members conspire with each other to the exclusion of the rest of the group. So that may be what we call a clique or something of that nature in current day. In phase three, the final or termination phase, the group comes to an end. Termination should be mentioned from the beginning of the group. It should be discussed in depth for several meetings prior to the final session. A sense of loss that precipitates the grief process may be evident, particularly in groups that have been successful. The leader encourages the group members to reminisce about what has occurred within the group, to review the goals, to discuss the actual outcomes, and to encourage members to provide feedback to each other about their individual progress within the group. Members may express surprise over the termination of the group. This representation of grief response is denial, which may progress to anger. Anger towards other group members or towards the leader may reflect feelings of abandonment. Successful termination of the group may help members develop the skills needed when losses occur in the dimensions of their life. So there are several leadership styles. However, your text in this particular chapter focuses on just three. It's focusing on autocratic, democratic, and laissez-faire leadership styles. It lists eight characteristics, and this is in Table 8-1, and it compares and contrasts each leadership style with these characteristics. So over the next three slides, we'll go through these three leadership styles that are emphasized in this chapter. So autocratic leaders have personal goals for the group. They may withhold information from the group. The focus in this leadership style is on the leader. Members are dependent upon the leader for problem solving, decision making, permission to perform. The approach of the autocratic leader is one of persuasion, striving to persuade others in the group that his or her idea and methods are superior. Productivity is high when this type of leadership, with this type of leadership, but often morale of the group is low because the lack of member input and creativity. Democratic leadership. So this style is focused on the members of the group. Information is shared with members in an effort to allow them to make decisions regarding achieving the goals for the group. Members are encouraged to participate fully in problem solving of issues that relate to the group. The leader provides guidance and expertise as needed. Productivity is lower than that of the autocratic leadership, but morale is much higher because of the extent of the input involved in all the members of the group and the potential for individuality or creativity. Laissez-faire leadership style. So this is my least favorite leadership style. I do not work very well with laissez-faire leaders. This leadership style allows people to do as they please. There is no direction from the leader. In fact, the laissez-faire leader's approach is non-involvement. Goals for the group are undefined. No decisions are made. No problems are solved. No action is taken. Members become frustrated and confused, and productivity and morale are low. So the laissez-faire leader allows the group to make their own decisions. So they're self-governed or self-guided. So each individual worker will be doing something different, but as long as the work gets done, it doesn't matter. So there's no guidelines or standard. We have ourselves a question. During a group meeting, a client raises a concern that the nurse's station keeps him up at night. The nurse present in the meeting interrupts, stating, "I'll handle this matter. We need to move on." The nurse is demonstrating which type of leadership style? Democratic, autocratic, laissez-faire, surrogate. And I'll give you a few seconds. And the answer is B, autocratic leadership style. So this restricted the client's participation in the planning of care, and the nurse was in control, and the client's autonomy was limited. There are three member roles: the task, maintenance, and individual roles. Table 8-2 explains the three roles as well as the behaviors associated with these three roles. We will just review the three roles on this particular slide. Please read Table 8-2. Complete the task of the group. That is the goal of the task role. The maintenance role is maintaining or enhancing group processes. And for the individual or personal role, it's fulfilling personal or individual needs. Psychodrama is a specialized therapeutic group. This method employs a dramatic approach in which the client becomes actors in real life situations or scenarios. The group leader is called the director, whereas the client will play the role of his or herself and is called the protagonist. This allows the client to express true feelings toward other individuals in their lives who are played by other group members. Group members who do not participate act as the audience. The purpose is to provide the patient with a safe place in which to confront unresolved conflicts in an effort to progress towards a resolution. The nurse who works as a psychodramatist requires special training beyond the master degree. So the patient may choose a situation that he or she wishes to enact and select the audience members to portray the roles of others in the life situation. Psychodrama setting provides the patient with a safer or less threatening atmosphere than the real situation in which they express true feelings. When the drama becomes complete, group members from the audience discuss the situation they have observed, offer feedback, express their feelings, and relate their own similar experiences. In this way, all group members benefit from the session either directly or indirectly. The family as a group. Family therapy is viewed as a system in which the members are interdependent. Major goal: facilitate system change rather than focus on any one individual as the one in need of treatment. Assessment tool is a genogram. So a genogram kind of maps out your family lineage. Oftentimes is utilized with medical history, but this can also be utilized in behavioral history as well. Role of the nurse in group interventions. Nurses who work in psychiatry, they may lead several types of groups: therapeutic groups, educational groups, assertiveness training groups, support groups for a particular problem, parental groups, transition or discharge groups. Role of the nursing group interventions continued. So the guidelines set forth by ANA specify that nurses who serve as a group psychotherapist should have a minimum of a master's degree in psychiatric nursing.